Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the session on Indian Sign Language Recognition. Today, we have with us Mr. Akshay Bahadur. He is a software engineer at Semantic Softwares. We will be beginning the session in a few minutes. As a quick reminder, a brief survey will follow the end of the session, and we would like you to share your best moments at the virtual conference on your social media handles, Facebook and Twitter. You can use the hashtag ODSC APAC. The post with the highest number of likes and shares will win the all access pass to ODSC East Virtual Conference. All of your feedback will help us to shape the future conference, so please do provide your feedback. Now, please join me in welcoming Mr. Akshay Bahadur. We will now begin the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for the lovely introduction. So tonight we'll be discussing about my project that I did. It's called as ISLA, or Indian Sign Language Recognition. Before we start, we'll follow a very simple agenda. I'll quickly explain the project, the problem statements, and what exactly I did. Apart from that, I also show you how other communities have helped me into developing this project. And then finally, we'll have some Q&A. We'll not go into a lot of technical details at this point, but I will be more than happy to address any questions that you have at the end of the session. So before further ado, let's start. So this is me, Akshay Bahadur. You can find me on Twitter at Akshay Bahadur3, or you can even contact me on my website, akshabahadur.com. And if you have any questions or if you have any collaboration opportunities, I'll be more than happy to answer those. So first of all, a bit about myself. I recently joined a new company called Lowe's. I was working as a senior data scientist there. I'm also a Google developer expert in machine learning, which means I get to work very closely with the TensorFlow ecosystem people and other experts in this field of machine learning. I've also received the most influential and young data scientist award for the year 2019, and this is for my contributions in the field of machine learning and open source. I've also been awarded by Top Intel Innovator Award in 2019. I've been invited for more than 50 plus sessions and keynotes on machine learning in India as well as internationally. And just fun fact, this is my third ODSC India conference. So I was present in the first one, the second one, and this one as well. So this is a very special opportunity for me because I started my whole giving talks with ODSC. So this is a kind of a full circle for me. So these are some of the snippets. So I've been all over the world, back to my school. You can see this old ODSC 2018 when I went there and I presented my work. So I can assure that you are in good hands. Having said that, let's quickly start. Let's jump on to some of the important links. So before we actually get into the crux, I would want to share one important link. So if you want to follow along, just go to bit.ly/ODSC-20 and you will be redirected to my GitHub page or my GitHub repository, which contains the links as well as all the resources that I've used in this talk. So if you feel like that you want to go back home and do more research, this is the link. You will find the slides, you will find all the resources, and you can even contact me on GitHub by raising an issue. So with that in mind, let's quickly start. So let's talk about ISLA, why exactly I came up with this and what does it try to solve. Okay, so first of all, we look at the definition. So the project aims to demonstrate the use of machine learning to develop and standardize an Indian Sign Language recognition system. So these two terms are very important for us, develop and standardize, and we'll discuss these two terms in details. Why have I emphasized on the words developing and standardization? So developing is pretty straightforward. You want to make sure that the sign language system that you have developed uses machine learning so that it can be used by a variety of people. Standardization is also very important, and we'll discuss this a bit detail later on as we go forward. So just keep those two terms in mind, and we'll keep coming back to this for the next 15-20 minutes. So yeah, so let's move forward. Now let's talk about the problem statement. So the problem statement is pretty. So basically, as when we define a problem statement, we want to make sure that the solution that we are proposing is redundant. Sorry, it's robust, which means that it can solve it can withstand multiple issues. At the same time, it should be pervasive. That is, it should incorporate as many people as it could. So, so 40 million people are the number of people in India that currently have speech and hearing impairment. And around 80 kilometers, or which is around 45 miles. It's a distance between two places where I stay and where I work. That is Mumbai and Pune. And within these two cities, which are very close by, the sign language for India becomes sign languages. So, what I want to emphasize on is the fact that the sign language system in India is not standardized, which means that different places will have different regional languages, and regional languages will have their own sign, which can be very minutely different, or they can be entirely different as well. So within Mumbai and Pune, we had minute changes. My second term that I showed you in the definition was to standardize, and this is a very important aspect, that you want to make sure that uh, Indian Sign Language is standardized throughout India, and that is something that should be done on an institutional level. So now let's look at the ideal solution. So if I wanted to solve this problem ideally, how would I want to solve it? So certain key features. First, as already mentioned, is I want to standardize ISL like American Sign Language. American Sign Language is standard throughout the US, and it can be used as a benchmark for India, so that the sign language in India could also be uniform. Now, second thing is that leveraging AI so that you can account for the minute changes in signs and symbols. So there are two changes in sign language that I have noticed. First, is there are minute changes, which means that for a certain sign gesture, the gesture could be not an exact copy of the sign language or the gesture that is given in the books or the textbooks. So there are two changes in sign language. That everywhere in India. So these are three aspects that I went ahead with. Of course, there can be many more, but these three were the most important that I figured out uh, that were most important to me. So now the methodology. So for ISL interpretation, what I realized is that you need to broadly define it into three terms. So first is hand movement. So how we talk, as in, let's say, even when we are speaking, my hand gestures are conveying an important aspect to you, and this forms a part of conversation. In ISL as well, like hand movements play a very important role. So this is the first thing that you want to tackle. Second is something that I also realized is called facial expressions. So how you move your facial features also play an important role when you're talking about sign language. And third, the pose estimation, that is how the person is standing, will definitely play an important role. With the current implementation that I have taken into account the the first two aspects. The third aspect is still something that I'm working on. But once we have all of that, we can specify. We can say that our sign language our application is complete. So now we'll talk about the development process. So the development process I thought would be very simple, but it turns on that it is not that simple. So I went ahead. So what I thought, that I'll go to an NGO, I'll figure the problems out, and I will create a sign language system in let's say 2 or 3 months. But when I started going to an NGO, I realized that there are a lot of problems that are hidden and that are not shown on the surface. So I spent around 6 months learning sign language. So I went to an NGO near my place in Pune, and I spent 6 months interacting with the kids learning sign language. So this was my initial phase. So you can see this video. I went to this NGO, and these are some of the students from those NGO, and they are currently signing for different alphabets. So this is currently muted for now, but if you want to have a look at that, you can go to this slide and you can go to the slides using the link that I mentioned, bit.ly/ODSC-committee, and you can find the whole video on my YouTube channel as well. It's around 5 to 6 minutes of video where these students are signing for different languages, for different gestures. So basically, I use this as sort of a ground truth for me, and how exactly would I want to develop my system so that people uh, can help. All right. So so then I developed, or then I sort of divided my work into different phases. So the first phase, or the 0th phase, was just working with hand gestures. So, and I also did not want to work on the entire hand images. I wanted to work on just a skeleton image, so that my as in the resource intensity will be minimum, because I filtered out all the background noise and I'm just working on my hand skeletons. So this is how it would look like. So these are different signs for different numbers, and as you can see that we only need one hand gesture, like just one hand, right or left. Then I also realized that we can use we can use two of our hands, and this will be used for signing for different alphabets. So A is this, B is this, and so on and so forth. We have X like this. So then from one hand, we move to two hands, and we are not working on the entire image. We're only working on a skeleton image, which is filtered out for just our hands and nothing else. So all the background is removed. Now, yep. So this is the entire video. So you can see that I have played the video, and uh, based on my hand gestures, my machine learning model is predicting different alphabets or letters or numbers. So on the right, you can see the filtered out image. So I'm only working with the hand gestures and not the entire image. So this makes my model more robust. This makes my model, I don't need any internet connections. I can directly deploy it on mobile phones, and it could be used by a wider audience. Then I realized that just the hand gestures are good, but if I want to talk to more people, or if I want to make this a better application, I have to take into account the facial features as well. So then I developed my own facial key point tracker, um, collected my own data set. You can also find the data set on the internet. And as you can see, then I used just my hand gestures and my facial key points and nothing else from the entire image, just so that I could account for more gestures. So this is a small snippet of it. So yeah, so now you can see that this gesture is for man. This is for Lord Ganesh, which is in Hindu god. This is for studying, and so on and so forth. So I have accounted for at least 20 to 25 different gestures using just my facial expressions as well as my hand gestures, and this makes my model more robust. It makes the whole application appeal to a wider audience. So this was like an initial point for me where I thought that, oh, no, okay, this looks pretty interesting. Then I integrated uh, text to speech as well. So as you can see, for each gesture, we have the voice as well, and at the same time, we also have a visual feedback. So whichever works for the audience, you have both the flavors. Uh, So of course, you can have a full look at the video through my slides. I'm going to go ahead with the next slides because in the interest of the time. Okay, now, so a good thing that happened with this project is that I got a chance to go to Google headquarters in California, and I got a chance to display this project directly to the TensorFlow team, and they were more than happy to accept my views and accept my implementation. At the same time, they provided me multiple uh, changes that I could do in my project just so that I could appeal to a wider audience. So here's a small snippet from it. And if you want to have a look at the entire video, you can definitely have a look on my YouTube channel. So just a very small snippet from the entire presentation, but if you want to have a look at that, you're more than welcome to have a look on my YouTube channel. Uh, so with that said, we are almost coming to the end. I think we have around 4 to 5 minutes left. So another good thing that happened was the Google folks liked my work quite a lot, and they thought that this could solve issues in India. So decided to do a video series on me and my work. So the next video is a small snippet um, of the journey, but I have only chopped out only the part which is interesting, and I think that this could be helpful for you guys if you have more, if you have a project in mind and if you feel that it could be helpful for the community. Just wanted to make sure that you guys follow that, because once you're doing something which is interesting, which could be helpful, a lot of people will come to help you, and you will definitely get a lot of help from the community. So enjoy the next video. It's around it's 3 minutes long, but I have only selected around 20 seconds of it, and you can have an entire look at the video from my YouTube channel. So you can have a look at the entire video. It's on 3 minutes. It's starts from how I started, and then my journey on to building the sign language system. So feel free to have a look at that. So with that, I would like to end my session. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out right now, or you can even do it afterwards. Um, and also, if you have any feedback for me, I'll be more than happy to incorporate that. You can go to akshaybahadurcom. You can leave them in the chat, or you can email me as well. You will find all the links on akshaybahadurcom. So this is it from my end. My name is Akshay Bahadur. You can find me on Twitter at akshaybahadurcom. My personal website is sorry, you can find me on Twitter at akshaybahadurthree. My personal website is akshaybahadurcom. And if you want to have a look at all the links or the presentation, go to bit.ly/ODSC-20, and you will be redirected to my GitHub page, which contains the slides and the links for all the resources that I've used for this session. So with that, I think I am done. We still have 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and let me know if you have any questions for me. All right, I think that looks that I don't have any questions. Sounds great. But once again, if you have any question for me, you can reach out to me on my website or on GitHub or on Twitter. So yeah, so with that, I would like to pass over the controls to Shubham. Shubham, are you still there?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Akshay. Thank you for such a great talk, and thank you everyone for joining us. Also, please do fill the survey that will be following up on the Slack channel. Thank you again.
All right, thank you so much, guys. See you. Yeah, take care.